Tonight on the MTN News, an inside look.
We view it as part of our mission to provide those services to the city of Billings.
An update on animal services after the old animal shelter is forced to close after an incinerator incident that sent more than a dozen people to the hospital. Also, 75 years of making beautiful music.
A lot of music happens in 75 years.
The Billings Symphony plans to mark a special anniversary. And millions of Americans brace for disruptions to some assistance programs as the shutdown drags on. The MTN News starts right now.
From Montana's news leader, this is the MTN 10 o'clock news.
Well, good evening and thanks for joining us on this Friday night. I'm Russ Riesinger. No end in sight to the government shutdown, which heading into day 25 is the second longest in history. In the meantime, the impact is being felt in a growing number of ways, including by those who rely on extra help to make ends meet. CBS News' Erica Brown begins our coverage tonight.
In Southern California, the National Guard is lending a hand at food banks as the government shutdown threatens to delay benefits for families in need.
With the government shutdown, we expect to see a delay in food benefits to over 5 million Californians. And that's food that families and kids rely on and resources that they need.
With the stalemate now in its fourth week, the impact on Americans is growing.
Flights get canceled. It takes a while to get through TSA. It's kind of stressful.
Staffing shortages among air traffic controllers during the ongoing funding standoff here on Capitol Hill has caused flight delays and some cancellations at airports nationwide.
They're great American patriots who come to work every single day knowing that they don't have a paycheck going into their bank account, even though they're providing critical services to the American economy.
As potential payment lapses for essential workers like active duty military members raise concerns, the Pentagon confirmed Friday that it accepted an anonymous gift of $130 million for their pay. The move raises legal questions after President Trump said he received an offer to cover U.S. service members' pay.
A friend of mine, a man that's great. I'm not going to use his name unless he lets me do it.
Last week, the Trump administration shifted $8 billion from military research and development funds to meet the Pentagon's payroll obligations. Erica Brown, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
Well, each day that the government shutdown continues, nonprofits grow more and more concerned. The National Council of Nonprofits works with about 33,000 nonprofits across the country. They say they've been hearing from various organizations that are unable to access federal funding, which they would typically use to serve their communities. As that shutdown keeps going on, many nonprofits are struggling, especially when their budgets were already tight to begin with.
Many of them are facing very tough choices about cutting back on the services that they provide, laying off staff, and even closing their doors. And once that infrastructure is gone, it's very hard to turn it back online. These organizations often are operating with shoestring budgets. They're making every dollar stretch, so they don't have a financial cushion to keep them going when there's a government shutdown.
The National Council of Nonprofits recommends donating your time to nonprofits in your community. A belated consumer price index during the government shutdown shows inflation inching back up last month. Gasoline and groceries are driving inflation, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics. Workers were called back from furlough to publish September's Consumer Price Index report, which shows inflation at 3% year over year.
We see some progress on a month-over-month basis, but we still have, I think, elevated prices, and I think that's the ultimate bottom line that most Americans associate with inflation.
Well, coffee perked up nearly 19% in September amid ongoing climate change, supply chain issues, as well as President Trump's tariffs. The president also announcing he's broken off trade talks with Canada because he's upset about an anti-tariff commercial featuring former President Ronald Reagan denouncing tariffs. Billings police are investigating after a body was found in a grassy field in the Billings Heights this afternoon. Police have not released any information about who the person was or cause of death, but they do tell us they don't believe this death is suspicious. Still concerning, though, to those who live in that area and use the paved path that runs along West Wicks Road.
So it's just a little alarming, a little concerning, especially with the school right up the road. We walk this loop almost every week, twice, 3 times, 4 times a week. So we've never seen anything like this before. So that's a little bit odd to happen.
Again, police are telling us they don't believe this death to be suspicious, but they aren't releasing any other details. Red Lodge Mountain says that the triple chairlift will be put back into service this ski season after it was closed following a fatal accident last March. Jeff Zinni of Billings died after falling from the chair. The ski resort says after a rigorous and thorough investigation into that lift incident, it was determined that a meteorological phenomenon known as a snow devil formed a whirling column of snow that impacted the chair that day. They say safety features have been boosted on the lift, and the chair has passed a third-party inspection to make sure it meets all of Montana's operating standards.
And more snow will be moving toward the Absarokas and the Beartooth soon enough, but not quite yet. We just have a mixture of clear sky and some high, thin cirrus clouds over eastern and central Montana. More cloud cover, though, certainly over western Montana, pushing into Idaho and eastern Washington as a cold front moves our direction. We're going to have a gradual increase of those clouds. Even by tomorrow morning, we'll have a mostly clear sky, but still a lot of sunshine for us and mild temperatures for late October. Hard to believe we're only 1 week away from Halloween. I want to show you a couple really pretty photos that were sent in from the Paradise Valley. Kathleen Grubb sent this in. You can see the Gardner River there, all the changing cottonwood tree leaves, a beautiful view there, and also an elk looking for some breakfast, maybe a breakfast buffet of some lawn grass, but you can see that large bull elk right there. Thank you so much, Kathleen, for sending those photos in. We have a lot of changes in our forecast. I'll have your 7-day forecast coming up in a few minutes.
We're getting our first look inside the former Yellowstone County Valley Animal Shelter after a drug burn gone wrong sent more than a dozen people to the hospital and forced the shelter to move all the animals. The city is hoping to continue working with YVAS to provide shelter services, wants them to move back in, but the shelter director says it might be too late. Our David J. talks to both sides about the next steps.
The Yellowstone Valley Animal Shelter sent the city a bid on Friday to continue providing animal services, but not in the building on Monad Road.
Still provide services, but not the lease of that building. City Administrator Chris Kukulski says he would like YVAS to reconsider that decision.
We've reached a point where that dialogue needs to happen face to face so that we can work through, what does the future look like?
For YVAS, part of the immediate future is here in the warehouse at the Lionheart Dispensary.
For that short term, we just want to be here, have our doors open, provide that service, provide a safe place for animal control officers to drop off lost, homeless animals, just as we've done for 18 years.
On Friday, the city administrator opened the doors to the former shelter, showing the incinerator room where drugs were burned more than 6 weeks ago. That burn sending drug-filled smoke into the building.
This is where that one methamphetamine hit was in this room. And so that's why DEQ, this is the room, this is the space that needed to be cleaned.
The company has been here since the incident happened, cleaning up all around the building, making sure everything is healthy, including the air, so it'll be okay for people to come back here and not have any concerns about breathing bad air.
We're hopeful we may receive that next week and get that certificate from DEQ in early November.
Kukulski says the building would then be ready to use, but it looks like probably not by YVAS.
We don't feel comfortable operating out of the facility on Monad. We do want to maintain that operational relationship with the city of Billings as far as caring for the animals in our community. So we're looking at those separately right now.
Still, possibilities and options remain open between the city and YVAS.
I obviously have very high hopes that the relationship can be mended because it's better for our community and better for our animals if we're able to work together in the end.
We've had a long-term working relationship with Yellowstone Valley Animal Shelter, and we hope to figure out how to repair that and continue working forward.
In Billings, David J., MTN News.